we attended a lot of interesting sessions in the last 3 days. So the good thing of speaking on the third day is like you don't have to go through all the definitions again. And you can start off with the kind of the platform that's already laid by the other speakers. So I'll just stay close to this for some time and keep walking. The format is like, it's like, the style is like, I will actually keep it abstract, philosophical, and touch upon the technological, economic, and financial aspects. So you would have seen the pendulum moving from one extreme to the other extreme, where a lot of technology was spoken about. And then we talked about the humanity aspects of it, the life and all that. So just somewhere settle down in terms of reality, okay? So that's the kind of idea. With that, you can ask me questions at the end. I will also ask you some questions. You ask me easy questions, probably I'll ask you some tough questions, okay? So the jobs part of it here, people ask me, are you hiring? When I say I'm a startup, I say we're not hiring. That's one response. The other response is we're not at hiring, because future we might do it, but we definitely engage people. So how do we engage? That's a discussion, but the idea is all about engaging people, not just about jobs or hiring, okay? So let's get started. The focus areas are like historical and macro perspective. We'll drill down a little bit. Then we'll talk about how these things are actually organized in terms of impact and evolution. There are some questions about evolution, so I'll skip some of the parts, but I'll address some of the things which are not covered so far. And of course, call for action, what all we can do. And then I'll show you a small glimpse of a sample case study, the project that we have done in the NLP space and then chatbots and all, and then open it up for questions. Okay, if you look at this, this is the manufacturing sector inflation adjusted output and employment for 35 years, okay? So here in 1980, it took 25 jobs to create $1 million worth of value, okay? Now how many it takes? Just 6.5. And when Tesla brings up its factory, they would just hire 1.3 jobs to generate the same $1 million output, okay? Now, this is one industry if you look at it, but if you look at the graph, what else do you see? The green line or the blue line, which keeps going, that means the value has been going, that means the industry has been growing, okay? Still, if you look at the employment, it has been, the red line has been steadily declining, okay? That's a kind of average jobs. Now, this is the situation in automobile industry in the US. Now, let's look at the situation in some other industries, same in the US. Let's take financial industry. Probably this is same in the agriculture industry. Maybe the graphs will be even steeper coming down. The financial industry actually grew. What used to be kind of couple of percentage points as a percentage of GDP, it has gone up to 8%. Same with IT industry, okay? Now we are plateauing there, but that was the situation in the US. Now what about the situation in India? In India, the situation has been like, it's not very different. The gross value add is slightly different from GDP, but very similar, grew at 8% per annum in the same 35 years period. And employment in the industry during the same period has grown only at the rate of 1.9%. This is factory employment. So what happened here? All the capitalists, all the investors, the people who own the factories, they preferred to actually allocate capital. The capital employment grew at this cliff of 14%, but the labor employment or the investments into labor has come down. Okay, it's not as much, it's not come down, but it's a very narrow growth rate. Now, if this is the case, why is IT industry so anxious about the jobs loss, or because it's been there all along? We'll talk about that in the next slide after that. But now there's a difference. Whatever I talked about, it's all about automation. There was no AI, okay? So all that happened without AI. Now how do we differentiate the automation versus AI? Automation, the machines do the repetitive tasks. Okay? AI, again we say we automate the repetitive tasks and all that, but there's an intelligence that is getting built. Do we really qualify it as an intelligence? We'll discuss that again. But we are at the cusp of this intelligent automation. Okay? And that's the worry. Is it really a worry? We'll go through that. Let's look at another dimension. Robo population density. Is it a measure? Is it a metric? Let's have a look at that. So if you look at this, this is actually the number of multi-purpose industrial robots per 10,000 employees. This statement was taken for 2015, year 2015. The average, the blue line shows the world average is about 0.69%. That's the density of the robots. It's a percentage of the employees. Okay? It's a very tiny, minuscule percentage, right? Yes. Only industrial robots. Now, the average robot density touched about 0.8%, but the thing is, it's been rapidly growing. Last 20 years, if you look at the 5-year and average annual growth rates, initially it was about 20 years ago, 20%. It touched 54%. Now this current 5-year period, it's expected to touch 59, 60%. Okay? China is leading the way. They are actually growing at about 25%. And the leading countries, the density is about 3 to 5%. You see South Korea there, Singapore there, and all that. But is it the right kind of comparison? Is the right metric? You mean to say the 0.69, do we need to not worry about it? 0.8, is it okay? It takes a long while even at that cliff. What if each robo is actually replacing hundreds of jobs? Anyway, that's a question which you can't really analyze because it takes a little other dimension, but they're going to replace multiple jobs. And there are other effects, not just the number of jobs. Now, what's the effect of AI on the jobs? This is again not, this is about a future, it's just kind of an analysis. There are a lot of analysis that are being done. I just picked up one as a sample. So if you look at on this side, this first column, there are sample occupations. The first row is like where the risk of automation is extremely high, where AI or robots or bots can actually replace those jobs, low-skill jobs. The operators, the transcription, translation, data entry, clerical, credit analysis, of course, you need to clarify or kind of say whether you can really decide, judge a person whether to give a loan or not. Driving. We just talked about driving, autonomous. I think this is coming after that session. Now we keep talking about it. Of course, he just clarified that it's not going to be there for the next 15 years or 50 years. Even if it is there, there are certain other things that might happen. Okay, I'll just show you a small video. Let's cover this thing. There are so many other things. I won't go into each of these things. The other column shows the employment in 2014 in thousands, how it's going to grow. Now, if you look at the second, the last column, while those jobs are at high risk of replacement, when you say the new industries, AI, that's going to create many more jobs, will they really create those jobs, the same or similar number of jobs? It's unlikely. So if you are looking at the low-risk jobs, the judges, choreography, the creative people, the space scientists, material scientists, financial management, emergency management, you don't want to leave emergency management in the hands of robots, right? Acting, emoting, acting there is a case like probably you can actually simulate, but all those things are not going to go away. But can everyone become actors, judges? Do you need so many people? It's very unlikely, okay? So there's a different set of jobs that are going to come in, and that's a hope, okay? Now, and it's also a reality to a certain extent because we looked at the complexity of machine learning. It's not that easy. While AI is actually shown as a kind of something that's going to happen, it's already there kind of a thing, it's still not there. It's there, it's still not there, okay? Now, high-risk industries, these are the industries which we all know. The transportation, mainly because of the driving, the driverless cars or whatever. IT, we still put it at the high-risk industry, but if the risk is because the existing jobs will go away. But you remember Y2K, after Y2K, who did those jobs again? Everybody changed their job, right? In IT industry, all of us change our jobs every year or every 2 years. So what's the problem? But the thing is, the rate of change is accelerating, and this is a kind of quantum jump in terms of what we have to change, what we have to learn. Okay? So low-risk occupations are characterized by genuinely creative stuff, application of mind and judgment. Even if you have to do machine learning, you have to apply a lot of trial and error, understand the parameters, have patience to train, clean up your data, enhance your data, and so many things. Policy making, you don't want to leave it to machines. Okay, now I just said I will actually show you something in terms of why it's so. Oops. I'll just show you a small clip. Oh, the audio is not there. Can you hear that?